Okay, so this is the homework that we're supposed to do today. Number one, we have a 23F right there. But if we want to write a verbal expression, what could we say?
The product of 23.
The product of 23 and F. So the product of 23 and F, but then again, there's other ones that you could use. You could say 23 times F, right? But if you wanted to check your answer, all you have to do is simply flip this over to the back side, and you'll be able to see the answer right there, the product of 23 and F. Okay? So just because you don't have it the same exact way doesn't mean that you're wrong. Okay? There's different ways of saying all these things. Like, for example, number two, I would write this as 7 to the third power. Okay, that's what I would write it as, 7 to the third power. But on the back page, it says 7 cubed. The word cubed is a different way of saying to the third power. So either one's fine, okay? Now keep in mind the actual homework assignment is for you to do the odd ones, but I would do all of them, right? Just practice by doing all of them. Especially right now that we're in 7th period. We have extra time, so let's do all of them. Number 3, let's not even look at the back. Let's just go off of what we see here. I see a 5, I see an M. What's happening between the 5 and the M?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So I could say 5 times M to the second power, and then I could put plus 2, right? So that's perfectly acceptable right there. 5 times M to the second power plus 2. But there's so many different ways of writing it, right? On the back it says what? Yeah, it says 2 more than 5 times M squared. Now remember from class, the word than implies a switch. That's why the 2's first on the written and the 5 it ends up switching when you look at the actual expression, okay? So I'm telling you, on Friday's test, not tomorrow, but next Friday, the first 7 questions, I want to give you maybe this 2 more than 5 times M squared, and you need to actually write the algebraic expression of it. So we need to practice with this homework. Now, I'm showing you number 3 because I wrote it totally different. 5 times M to the second power plus 2, and that's absolutely correct. But on the back side, they have it written a little different, but both of them are correct, okay? Let's go through and do another one. Let's go with number 7. What would you say on number 7? Don't look at the back side. What do we have here? We have K. So you could say a number or a number K to the 5th power divided by 6, right? So we don't have to put a number K. You could just say K, right? But K at the end of it all is going to take the place of a number. So you could say a number K to the 5th power, or you could just say K to the 5th power divided by 6. There it is. So I erased the number. I just put K to the 5th power divided by 6. Now that's not the only way of writing this though. We could also use the fancy word quotient, right? The quotient of K to the 5th power and 6 is another way of writing this one. But there's tons of ways, right? On the back it's different. On the back it's really weird. I wouldn't even do this one on the back. On the back it says 1/6 of the 5th power of K. See, for me, 1/6 of the 5th power of K, that would actually be this right here, 1/6 of the 5th power of K. Whoa. For me, that would be 1/6 times K to the 5th. But that's the same thing as this, okay? So the answer they gave in the back is pretty horrible. I would go with the answer that we just did a couple of seconds ago. I'd go with one of these answers right here. The quotient of K to the 5th power and 6, or K to the 5th power divided by 6. Any of those are good. And I'll tell you, next Friday, the 7 questions are going to be pretty straightforward. There won't be anything that's too confusing. Let's move on down here where I give you verbal expression, and you need to write the algebraic expression. So like number 9, the difference of 10 and U. What does difference mean? Minus, right? Difference means subtract. So do we have to switch the order, or do we keep 10 first and U second? 10 first and U second. The only time we switch the order is, again, when we have the words from or than. That's when we switch the order, okay? And that's from our little sheet of paper right there that we have also handed out today. So number 11, the product of 33 and J. How easy is that? 33J.
Just 33.
Yeah, that's it. Just 33 with the J. That's it. Number 12, 74 increased by 3 times Y. 74 increased by. So if I said, what's 74 increased by 1? Do you actually switch 74 plus 1? You just add them together and you put the 74 first and the 1 second, right? So you're going to take 74 and you're going to increase it by something. So you're going to add something. But what is it that you're adding? You're going to add the 3 times Y. Okay? So that's going to be 3Y. Okay. Technically, it could be 3Y plus 74. That's because of commutative property of addition. But right now, since we're learning the way the words modify the order, I want you to put the 74 first and the 3Y second. Question. Just to verify, number 12, how do they write it on the answer? Yeah, so looking at the answer right here, they don't switch anything, right? Because it doesn't have the word from or it doesn't have the word than, right? So you don't switch. The 74 is first. It's increased by 3Y. 3 times Y is 3Y, so you just put plus 3Y. There is no order switched. Okay, the only time you do the switch is when you have the word from or than. And in that sentence, we did not have the word from or than. Okay, number 13. 15 decreased by twice a number. Okay, well, first of all, let's pick a word like decreased. What does that mean? Minus. Decreased by. Now, let's put the minus. And what are the 2 things that we're going to be minusing? Well, we have a 15. And over here on this side, we have twice a number. Let me circle twice a number in blue. What does twice a number really mean? 2x, right? So that really means 2x, okay? And, well, 15 is obviously 15. And we said that the decrease by is subtraction. Now, do we switch, put the 15 second and put the 2x over here? Do we switch them? Or do we just bring them down the way they are? Bring them down the way they are, right? The only time we switch, let me keep going back to this over here. You get this little sheet of paper and we circled the word from and then because that's when there's an order switch, okay? There is no word from, there is no word than. It's not saying like 15 subtracted from, that would imply a switch. Or 15 less than, that would imply a switch. There is no word from or than, so you're just going to take this 15, bring it down. And you're going to take the twice a number, which is 2 times x, and bring it down. And that's it. That's your answer. Does that help you out? Okay. Which other one? 15. 3/4 the square of b. See, I don't know how they wrote it in the back, but I would write 3/4 as the fraction 3/4. That's 3/4 right there. Okay. 3/4 of what? 3/4 the square of b. So when you do 3/4 of anything, you're saying 3/4 times something. So 3/4 times the square of b, that means b squared. So this is my algebraic expression. Now in the back, they might have written it as 3b squared over 4. And, well, did they do that? Let's check. No, they kept it like that. 3/4 times b squared. So yeah, we're good. So again, right here, you're taking the words and you're making a math expression, a variable expression. So you could either write it like this, 3/4 times b squared, or you could just write it all together, 3/4 b squared. Or technically, you could even go 3b squared over 4. Those are all the different possible algebraic expressions for this sentence right here. Let's take a look at the last one, number 17. It says a used bookstore sells paperback fiction books in excellent condition for $2.50 and in fair condition for 50 cents. Okay, so if a book's kind of messed up, they're going to sell it for 50 cents, 2 quarters, right? If a book looks like new, they're going to sell it for $2.50. You guys understand that, right? Okay. So yeah, it's pretty cheap. So let's actually write an algebraic expression, because that's what it says right here. It says write an expression for the cost of buying X excellent condition paperback and F fair condition paperback. So there's $2.50 for each excellent book, okay? And to represent excellent, they're using the variable X, as you can see right there. So what we're gonna write is $2.50 times X. So in other words, if you buy one book, that'll cost you $2.50. If you buy 2 books, then that'd be $2.50 times 2, which is $5. If you buy 3 books, that'd be $2.50 times 3, that'd be $7.50. Okay? But let's say you also want to buy some used. How much do the used ones cost? It says right here, 50 cents. And it says use F for the used fair condition books. So they want you to use F. So if you buy a couple of new ones and you buy a couple of used ones, it's going to be 50 cents, 0.50 times F, because they say use F for the fair condition books. And this is your algebraic expression that'll give you how much you actually spend, whether you buy new or used. Question. Could it be backwards? Yeah, it could technically be backwards for this real life situation. But I would keep it the way they wrote it, with the excellent condition first and the fair condition second. So I do want to say, guys, that the first 7 questions of next week's quiz are going to be straight from here. I might copy this over right onto the test. Question number 1, I want to tell you, write down the product of 33 and J as an expression. Oh, 33J, right? Or I'm also, and probably more likely, going to pick from here, from the notes right here. So here are the notes that we had in class. I want to pick some of these. Like, you might have the quotient of 6 and x. Oh, quotient's division. 6 and x, so that's 6 divided by x. Or maybe I'll just pick this one right here. 2 subtracted from x. Oh, subtracted from means I'm going to subtract, but I need to switch the order. So it's really going to be x minus 2 instead of 2 minus x. So all these are going to be many of these are going to be selected to be the first 7 questions on Friday's test.